What about the healing? All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead on and get into the read. All right. No intro, but mwah. But for my new subscribers, mwah. To my old heads, OGs that's coming from All About, mwah. And for my, if you're here for the first time, mwah, welcome. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this is about, how can I start this? Okay. This is about feminine energy. You collective being in your feminine energy. Whether you are male or female. Feminine energy. You know we all have both, right? But I'm specifically talking in regards to you being in your feminine energy, in your feels. Because when you were in your feelings, emotions, you start cutting people off. Cutting people, places, and things. And in particular, you cut off a person who you were really connected with, who you thought was your twin flame. And if you know anything about twin flame, if you still believe in twin flame, you thought this person was your one and only, the other part of your soul. They had a part, you had a part, y'all come together to make one soul, to make one love, right? Oftentimes twin flames is very is a very toxic relationship. But if you really look at the relationship, the way it's structured, and the way it oftentimes end up, it's one big emotional roller coaster to teach you valuable lessons about yourself, about who you are, about what you represent, about how valuable you are, and what that value means and what it holds from going forward after you walked away from this person. Oftentimes it takes, when you walk away from a twin flame, or you walk away from a significant connection that you have as such. Some is twin flame, some is soulmate, karmic, because oftentimes we meet these people when we are karmic. We are karmic, they are karmic, but they in teaching us a lesson, it's two things. They teach us a lesson, but we teach them a lesson as well. And upon those lessons that's being taught, we have choices that we have to make. We can stay in that toxic relationship, or we can remove ourselves out of that toxic relationship and move towards love for ourselves, valuing who we are, making those choices and decisions to uphold the value that God has said we are, what God see us as, upholding the contract, the upholding the real, true, authenticness of you, in order to uphold and uplift and be able to see and be able to value and be able to heal and be able to do all these things. It starts with the relationship and the connection with God. God shows you through his love, the love that God has for you. God you seeing how God loves you transcends and allows you to see through a lens your value, your worth. Because why would God love me? Why would God uplift me? Why would God see and uphold and show me these things if it wasn't true? So your whole intent turns around from just this person, and you start to look at God, and you start to believe God, and you start to have faith in God about who you are. And you start to believe and, like I said, and have faith. And in doing so, you completely turn away from this connection where this person was the be all and end all for you. This was your person. This was the love of a lifetime. Love, you never felt, you never seen, you never heard a love such as this. There is nothing else like it until you felt God's love, until you truly felt the love that God has for you. It superseded what this person said love was. Because when this person loved me, when this person said that they loved me, it always hurt me. It always tore into my heart. It always broke my heart into pieces. So this love that this person is saying for me can't be true, because it does not align with the same love that the Most High is given to me. What the Most High is showing me. What the Most High is allowing me to feel and allowing me to know what is true love. By coming in and connecting truly to my soul and connecting truly to me. It superseded what this person was talking about when they said they loved me. Or when I thought that the love, the connection that I had with this person was true love, but it wasn't. It was lust. So you cut these people off. You cut this person off, this twin flame, this soulmate, karmic. You cut them off. And when you cut them off, it broke everything in you. You broke your own heart. You broke your own soul. You broke your everything. You didn't think you was going to ever recover when you had to let this person go. And they, too, thought that you would never recover. They thought, too, that you would never walk away. They thought, too, that you loved them more than you would ever deem to love God. But they were wrong. When God shined that light and shined that love upon you, you start to remember. You start to remember who you are. You start to remember who God is in your life. You start to feel your soul open up to that light and to that love. And it didn't compare. Both types of love didn't compare to each other. One outdid. Your feelings and emotions were different and aligned different with different aspects of love. One was toxic, one was everything. So, like I said, you turned away from this person. You cut the tie. Now see, what I'm seeing here is that this person, this twin flame, the soulmate, people, places, and things, society, whatever you was into, they had a hold on you. They had you bound. You were their puppet. You did what they wanted you to do, You said what they wanted you to say. You went against your own soul and salvation. You went against your own self. You did things that you never thought that you would do because you said you loved this person and this person loved you and you wanted to be with this person. So you did everything that this person wanted you to do out of alignment, out of the will of the Most High. You just gave up everything for this person. They manipulated you, controlled you. You were their puppet. They stole from you, made a fool out of you, tried to place you in a holding pattern that made you what they projected the deaf and dumb spirit. The deaf and dumb spirit, you can actually see with your eye what you're doing, but your mind is not connecting. You're not seeing and hearing. You're not connecting to what you're doing. You're just like a puppet. Your puppeteer is just telling you everything to do, but your soul, your heart, and your salvation is screaming at you, telling you, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. Wake up, wake up, wake up. So, in a nutshell, that's what happened. You was somebody's puppet. And don't worry about it, because we all was put in this predicament. It's one shape, form, or fashion. We all was somebody's puppet. These are learning lessons. Because if you were never any one puppet, how could you have learned this valuable lesson about who you are? Because this is who you became. This is equivalent to the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords don't play. This particular person made you into the Queen of Swords. You sliced them, you diced them. You didn't care about what they was talking about. They could talk all day long. When you lifted that sword, you meant business. I see you and I wouldn't want to be you. You either go head on or you're going to get the sword. Very vicious. Didn't play when it came to these people. Because, see, you came from being this to being this. You were nothing to be played with, and still ain't nothing to be played with concerning these people. You're nobody's puppet. Nobody's puppet. But now, as it stands today, after you cut these people off and you stood before God, you believed God, you served God, you took the sword and lifted up to God, everything changed, and you're no longer, and you never will be, anybody's puppet. See, now the strings belong to you. You are the puppeteer. These are your hands for the people, places, and things that had control over you and who was the puppet in your life. As soon as you cut and lifted up the sword unto the Most High God to serve, to honor, and praise, He anointed the sword, and immediately, as it stands today, You hold the strings. You are the puppeteer. And God is wanting to know what you're going to do with the strings that you hold. God want to know how you're going to handle this type of power. God is looking at you because you hold the power. You turned your back, pulled the sword, and wished they would. And they continue to every day. Every moon cycle, speaking on your name, doing rituals and everything else. But God is watching you because, see, the power is in your hands. You're no longer on the string. You hold the power. And see, furthermore, not only do you have the sword, but all of this is you holding the strings, you holding the power, you are the one. You know how you doing it? You cut them off, right? When you cut them off, you didn't entertain them, you didn't watch them, you didn't run after them. You took the love that you was giving them and you invested in them and gave it to yourself. And so now they can't touch you because, see, in order to penetrate you, they will have to penetrate the love that you have for yourself, which is God's love. God's love is God's protection. They can't come to you and lie. You're protected. They can't come to you and cheat. You protected. They can't come to you and run game. You're protected. They can't come and mess up your mind and screw up your mind and confuse you and get you all twisted up. Love. Mind, body, soul, and spirit. Love. This right here, the love that you have for yourself, these people can never ever penetrate. They can't play a game. They can't mess with your mind, your heart. They can't mess with your soul, because the love that you have for you, God topped it off. You loved you. You sacrificed, walked away from these people, looked up to God, told God, lifted up your soul, your sword. You cut them off with the sword. You walked away, didn't look back, and gave yourself all that love that you was giving them. And they want it back, but they can't have it. See, because the love that you gave to you, God topped it off and sealed that love. And now you're shielded with your love and God's love that cannot be penetrated, which makes you unstoppable. Because they don't even know how to love. So how can they penetrate the love that you have for yourself? They don't know they don't understand it. They don't understand the love that you have for yourself, because they've never ever experienced them loving themselves. They experience you loving them, but they have never experienced loving themselves. They never experience God's love because they reject God and they reject God's love. To them, there is no God. The God that they know of is the God that they see in you. The God you have shown them that it is and it does exist. But for their own soul and salvation, they don't even know where that will begin for them to be in the position that you're in. So if they can't understand it, how could they penetrate it? If they can't understand it, how could they stop you? If they can't understand it, what love means, what it means to even love yourself, what it even means to be able to have and experience the love of the Most High. They don't know anything about it. So they dumbfounded and confused about how to even come to you, how to come in and get these strings, get that control and manipulate the situation, the narrative concerning you, because no longer do they hold the strings, you do. You hold the strings, you hold the power, you hold the anointing. You're unstoppable. And it all starts with this love, not only for yourself, but the love that God has for you. It don't compare to any type of love that they ever could give to you, tell you about, lie to you about, run game to you about, twist and manipulate, trick you about. Because the love that they talking about don't ever compare to the love that you have for you and the love that God has for you. So they're done when it's concerning you. As for any other function, dark, love is the highest form of shield, the highest form of protection is love. Continue to love yourself. Continue to do what you're doing, because in the interim, you spiritually have the strings in your hand, and you can use them by any means necessary. But you have to be careful, because that kind of power, you got to always make sure that you are in alignment with the Most High God in utilizing it, or you will be in the same predicament that they are in. So you hold the power. You are the puppeteer. But you don't need this, because you got this. And as long as you got this, you will always hold the power. But this right here keeps them bound to their own soul and own salvation, the own wickedness that they place themselves in. You keep them bound by just loving you. You keep them bound by just doing you. You keep them bound by having faith in the Most High, believing the Most High. You keep this person bound, and you ain't got to lift a finger. Just by being you, loving you, standing in your truth, authenticity, in your heart, your mind, and your soul. You don't ever have to worry. You don't have to do what they do and be who they are. You could just be you, love God, and go on about your business. Because ultimately, they want to come in and message you and talk to you, blocked, because you're too high. You don't have time to talk to people like this that's running game, that's trying to place you back in a holding pattern, set you back in time, where they can control and manipulate the narrative. So why even give them that space? You don't need to talk. You don't need to hear. You need to love. Continue to love you. Continue to love God. Be in alignment with God and keep it moving. Because you hold the power You hold the key. You're the ice queen that loves and holds the power. And that's all I got to say about this. So, at the end of the day, the strings are yours. And what are you going to do about this new power play that you have? I already answered it, but you need to answer it for yourself. What you getting ready to do? Are you going to do this? Or are you going to continue to do this? You could put that in the comments. I want to hear it. All right. All right. So hit the comments, like, share, subscribe. Look at all the shorts, but make sure that you're looking at the long form videos as well so you can get the whole message, not broken off in different parts. But any way that you want to look at it, any way you want to receive the message, it's up to you. I'm thankful and grateful. Just make sure that you're liking it. Make sure you're sharing it. Make sure you get it, that you follow the energy exchange so we can keep on pushing the content. All right. So a lot of people some people don't want this content to get out, but we got to keep it moving. We got to keep on growing. We got to keep on going because it doesn't stop with us. We got to get the messages out to our people. All right. So with that being said, I'm sending you love. I'm sending you healing, and Trinity is